Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you guys the fastest ways to get fragments in Blox fruits. And there are a lot of different ways that you can get fragments, but I'm going to be going over the best methods and not all of the methods. So like I said, there's so many different ways, and if I sound a little bit different, it'll be like that for a few days. I just got my top and bottom braces on, so it's a little bit more difficult to talk. But here is one of my favorite ways to get fragments, and that's just to head over to Tiki Outpost. This only really works if you're in the third C. I'm giving methods for second and third C. And obviously in the first C you cannot get fragments. So you're going to come out with a boat out here and try and kill sea beasts, ship raids, terror sharks, everything like that. And everything gives a pretty decent amount of fragments, to be honest. You can probably get, I remember when I filmed my 100 mil money in Blox Fruits video, I was able to get from like 1 fragment to I think like 62,000 fragments in like 2 or 3 days of spending 3 hours a day killing sea beasts. So that's actually a really good method. In like 10 hours, I was able to get like 70,000, and I wasn't even like manually playing. Because another good way is to do raids, but you're going to have to manually play the game and do this. For sea beasts, I just turn my volume up to full, and when I hear a sea beast spawn in, I go over to my computer and kill it, which is a pretty decent method if you're sure your boat's not going to die. I just set up like kind of like a macro farm, but I still had to manually kill the sea beasts. So you could just buy a raid chip. It would be better if you get other people here. You get 1,000 fragments for beating a raid. At the time, I'd say the easiest and quickest raid to do is probably Magma Raid. But then Dark Raid, Flame Raid, even Ice Raid, and some stuff like that, they're pretty easy to do. I mean, every raid is easy. I'd say probably the 2 hardest are probably String, or not String, it's Spider now, and Buddha. Those are probably the 2 hardest. And then Doe is a little bit difficult, Phoenix is a bit difficult, Light's a bit difficult. They're all a bit difficult, but the probably hardest one's the Buddha raid. It's pretty tough to beat. So yeah, you get 1,000 fragments from beating a raid. With other people, you can easily do a raid in under 5 minutes. So assuming you're going to be able to do 12 raids in an hour, you're going to be able to get 12,000 fragments per hour, which if you ask me is really quick. This is probably the fastest method, but it's the most boring because you just sit there doing raid after raid after raid, and you have to pay for raid chips with either a physical fruit or 100,000 money every 2 hours, which is not really a problem at all. I mean, you can just take out fruits in your inventory. I'm sure everybody has a couple of fruits, and if not, you could literally just spin for them. Now, there's a lot of other methods in the third C. We've got stuff like killing the training dummy and killing elite hunters, but those just don't give enough fragments for me to even put them on here. I don't consider them as high enough methods for getting fragments to even bother putting them on the video, because I mean you get like 150 fragments per like hour for the training dummy and like 10 minutes for the elite hunters, so it's really just not worth grinding it. Same with like Doe King and Rip Indra. You're gonna get like 1,500 and I think like 3,500 over at Doe King for killing them, but for how long it takes to actually spawn them in and kill them and how tough it is, it's not worth it at all, and definitely not one of the good methods for getting fragments. But it is a method, so you can use that if you're willing to do it. The easiest way would obviously be to buy fragments, but the deals on this are pretty dang bad. 1,000 Robux for 10,000 fragments. So I could spend less than an hour of my time to do 10 raids, or spend $15. And I mean, I would have to work a whole hour to get $15, so I could either work for an hour and spend all that money on Blox Fruits, or I could play Blox Fruits for an hour and get it for free and then just work later. I think I would rather just do some raids instead of spending real money on fragments. I mean, it's a pretty big scam. There also is fragment chests and stuff like at Mirage Island and out at sea. I'm just listing a bunch of methods right here that aren't really that helpful. And you can come over to the Haunted Castle. I've already listed the main 2 methods, which is sea events and killing bosses. You can kill that boss over there, which gives you a tiny bit of fragments, I think. Or actually, it might give you bones instead. You can summon with the Death King right here. He gives you some money, some fragments and stuff for your bones. I feel like they changed it because you can roll like some money, or you can roll like a tiny bit of money, like down to like 2,000. Okay, I'm trying to show you guys that you can get fragments between like 150 and 300, I think. So if you got maximum luck on this thing, you would get only 3,000 fragments every 2 hours. And you are not getting maximum luck on that thing. Let me just tell you that. So that's not a very great method. And then you can't get fragments from this thing, I don't think. Yep, you can just get bones and God's chalices and stuff like that. So yeah, the main two methods I would say is just sea event farming and doing raids. There's plenty of other methods, and the raids work in the second sea. If you're in the second sea, I'd say just do raids. Killing all of the raid bosses and stuff like that, the other bosses, just takes too much time for how many fragments you get, and it's not really worth it. And sea beasts are so much harder to spawn in. And there's like factory and stuff like that. If it actually does give fragments, I don't think it does. But if it does, that is definitely not a method that's worth it. Alright, so I'm going to end off this video here. Let me know if you guys have any other methods that you want to tell me about. But I'd say those two are definitely the best in the game right now. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.